Big news today. We have the results back from the most comprehensive public opinion poll yet on Alberta NDP's carbon tax. I've seen another poll on the subject. A poll on Monday by Main Street Research shows that 66% of Albertans oppose the new carbon tax. Only 29% support it. And that's before anyone's even had to pay it yet. No one believes the official excuse for the tax either, that paying more taxes will somehow magically get a pipeline built. It's such a laughable justification. 62% of Albertans don't believe it. Only 16% do. So those are good poll questions and encouraging answers by Albertans. But there are other questions I think are important that I don't think the mainstream media would ask, especially, say, the CBC, who are in full-tilt campaign mode for the tax and the Alberta NDP. Well, thanks to the generosity of our viewers, we crowdfunded a professional poll on the subject too. 452 Albertans were surveyed with an accuracy of plus or minus 4.6%, 19 times out of 20. I'd like to take you through the 6 questions that we asked right now. Here's our first question. Quote, what do you think the Alberta NDP government's attitude is towards Alberta's oil and gas sector, unquote? I mean, they claim to support it while sticking knives into it.
As you know, Albertans elected us to focus on creating jobs and building the economy, and that's, of course, exactly what we will do. The comments that I made yesterday are actually no different than the comments that I made throughout the election. I understand that we need to work together with industry to promote access. We also need to do it within the context of understanding what's best for Alberta.
So that's what Notley and the NDP are saying now. Of course, for years, the NDP actually led anti-oil protests. Here's a picture of Notley, that's her on the left there, at an anti-oil sands, anti-pipeline protest. So we asked Albertans, which is the real NDP? 43% of Albertans say the NDP is hostile, with more than half of those people saying the NDP is very hostile to oil and gas. Only 17% of people say the NDP are moderately friendly to the oil and gas. Just 7% say they're very friendly. Here's our second question. Quote, Alberta's NDP government is imposing a $3 billion carbon tax. This tax was not in their election platform. Do you think they have a mandate to bring in this tax? Only 26% of Albertans say they do. Here's the third question. Quote, should the NDP hold a referendum on bringing in this proposed carbon tax, which will cost the average family hundreds of dollars a year? 47% say yes, just 28% say no. Here's my favorite question. The NDP has said the tax will start at $3 billion and grow to $5 billion a year. Do you think the tax will stay at $5 billion or increase in the future? Well, Albertans are no dummies. Only 5% of people say it'll stay at $5 billion. Even amongst NDP voters, only 8% think it'll stay at $5 billion a year. Okay, 2 more questions to go. Here's the 5th question we asked. The NDP's plan includes shutting down coal-fired power plants and installing green energy like solar and wind. What impact do you think this will have on your power bill? Again, Albertans are no dummies. 57% say their power bills will go up, including 34% who say their bills will go up a lot. Only 6% say their power bills will go down. In fact, NDP voters are even more convinced their electricity bills are about to go up, with 62% saying so. Okay, last question. What do you think is the real goal of the carbon tax? That's a good one, eh? Is it raising more revenue for the government or combating climate change? Well, 43% say it's to raise more money. 25% say they don't really know. Just 1/3 of Albertans believe it's to combat climate change. I'm actually surprised that's so high. If paying taxes cooled the climate, we'd be in an ice age by now, don't you think? So there you have it. We already knew Albertans hated the carbon tax. Now we know a little bit more as to why. Albertans believe the NDP is hostile to the oil and gas industry. Albertans think the NDP does not have a mandate for the tax, and they should put it to a referendum. Albertans think their electricity bills are going to go up. The tax itself will go up, and the whole thing is just a cash grab. This is a war declared on Alberta by a radical NDP premier who was accidentally voted into power when the other 2 parties in Alberta imploded. She's brought in radical advisors from outside the province, including her own chief of staff, a union organizer from Toronto. They know they've only got this 1 term in power, so they're going to do maximum damage to the province while they can. Bizarrely, some oil and gas tycoons support this carbon tax. They think they can rig the rules to their advantage, but they're foolish. We're all going to pay a heavy price for this carbon tax. Nobody's believing the spin. Folks, it's up to us, the grassroots, to fight back. Yesterday, the first of 2,500 of our lawn signs started sprouting up across Alberta. Here's the very first one to go up on a lawn in Red Deer. Take a look. If you've signed up for a lawn sign, expect an email from us in the next few days telling you where to go to pick up your sign in your community. We have dozens of volunteer lawn sign captains who've generously offered to distribute them across the province. Thanks, you guys. If you haven't registered for your lawn sign yet, or if you want to be a lawn sign captain to help distribute them, you can sign up at stopthecarbontax.com. Lawn signs are free. We're giving them away. We do ask you to consider making a $5 online donation to cover the cost of them. If you want to help us cover the cost of this opinion poll too, you can do so at that same website. I haven't got the bill for this poll yet. I imagine it's going to cost us at least $2,000 because it has so many questions in it. So please visit stopthecarbontax.com. Sign our petition, get a lawn sign, and help us fight back.